With the presidential candidates of the political parties running for the 2023 election all selected, the next step will be the selection of their running mates, and this poses to be another headache. The presidential candidates will be hoping their running mates can complement them in a field they are lacking in order to create a balance. They talk about the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Bola Tinubu's potential running mate has dominated the headlines, with many people against the rumored idea of a Muslim-Muslim ticket. It was reported that the APC governors and other stakeholders had agreed that the Northeast should produce the vice presidential candidate of the party. Joining us on this show this morning to discuss the likelihood of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu picking a Muslim running mate and the possible names the All Progressives Congress will be considering is Abdullahi Tanko Yakasai, National Coordinator, Northern Young Professionals for Tinubu. Welcome to the show, Abdullahi Tanko Yakasai. Good morning.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us. So what's the state of play with regard to the choice of the running mate to Asiwaju Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress, your party? Are we looking at a Muslim-Muslim ticket, or are we looking at a Muslim-Christian ticket? And what is that thing? Do you have any idea? That Asiwaju Bola Tinubu says is in his pocketbook, but he has till Friday to remove whatever is in his pocketbook and announce it to Nigerians. What, in your opinion, as a stakeholder, is best for your party?
Okay, thank you so much. We give God the glory. Asiwaju, our principal, has gotten this ticket, and it now boils down to who becomes his running mate. The vice president is a very, very important team player that we need, because the roles of the vice president are enormous roles. The vice president, as in Nigeria, in the Constitution, takes part in cabinet meetings. The vice president is someone that sits at the National Defense Council. He's also part of the National Elders Council, and he also takes part in the Federal Executive Council meeting. But most importantly, the vice president takes part in fact, he's the one in charge of the economy. So we have to sit back, look around, and see who has that capacity, who has that competence, who has that, ability and the acceptability to play these important roles. So, as it is now, time is running against us. We're looking at the Northeast so as to have, to be fair, because the President Muhammadu Buhari is from the Northwest, and so the party leadership narrowed the selection to be within the Northeast. So we are looking at someone with these qualities. We're not looking at the religious aspect, because if you are going into an election, the foremost thing you do is to get someone that can win you that election, that has that acceptability. So be it a Muslim, be it a Christian, if he has these qualities, we are good to go.
Be it a Muslim or be it a Christian, so you're not ruling out a Muslim ticket, which in the minds of a lot of Nigerians might be a quite scandalous statement to make. I'd like you to expand on why you have said be it a Muslim or be it a Christian, given the importance of rotation, which is one of the reasons why Asiwaju Bola Tinubu emerged when the northern governors, APC governors, decided that the presidency should go to the south. We have principles of rotation because, for the sake of balance. Asiwaju Tinubu, in his victory speech, having clinched the APC presidential ticket, also talked about religious intolerance in this country. Why then is the idea of a Muslim-Muslim ticket being entertained?
No, you see, all these are coming from mostly from the opposition, you know, because why hasn't they been talking about this before his emergence? It is only after Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has emerged that they're talking of, well, there shouldn't be a Muslim. If you look at even in UK, the mayor of UK, Sadiq Khan, is a Muslim. The mayor of Leeds, the mayor of Coventry, the mayor of Sheffield, they're all Muslims. So why are we bringing religion into politics? This is a dangerous terrain. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, his wife is a Christian. So why are we bringing religion into this? She's a devoted Christian woman, and they're married for so long, you know. So anybody that tells you that well, we shouldn't do a Muslim, they are just being opponents.
Okay. But religion...
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me? Tanko, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Mr. Ruben, I can hear you.
Good. This is Rufai. There's always been religion...
Okay, Rufai.
Well, there's always been religion in politics, and there's always been a need for balancing. You talked about the mayor of Coventry, you talked about the mayor of London, but that's a false equivalence because it's different from having the prime minister and the deputy prime minister. And I made a point this morning on air recently that why was the talk about Joe Biden being a Catholic president very prominent? Why? Even in America, which is the bastion of democracy, because religion still plays a role. Why is it that the Irish are still split along Protestants and Catholic lines? In the Stormont, for instance, they had to balance out the parliament between the Ulster Union and the other people, the Catholics. And that's the case in Nigeria. You can't deny the blasphemy killings. You can't deny all the shenanigans happening. You can't deny the religious polarity in Nigeria. So, is it a thing of convenience for your party, or is it a thing of nullifying the existing preconditions in Nigeria? And don't forget, even Bola Tinubu talked about a a Muslim ticket in 2015. That was why he stepped down for Shibaju, because it would have been too much if you had Muslim, with the emergence of the likes of Saraki. So when it wasn't good enough in 2015, why is it good enough now?
You see, the politics of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu goes beyond religion. This people are bringing religion into it because they see that Asiwaju, you know, is a threat to the opposition. You talk about all those ones. The number one fundamental thing if you're going into election is to get somebody that can win that election for you. Somebody that can garner the votes and make sure when you get to the proper elections, your party wins the primaries, wins the general election. And so, irrespective of being a Muslim or Christian, I still stand on that we should look at who can give us that vote so that APC will continue in power. And we have them both in Muslim and Christian. So, in 2015, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu was meant to be the vice president. But they talked about Muslim cannot be possible. But we have had it before. Because in 1993, Abiola and Kingibe, you know, are all Muslims. And at the moment now, I tell you, in the National Assembly, that is the House of Representatives, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Bajabiamila, is a Muslim. And his deputy, Right Honorable Wasa, is a Muslim. I've never heard anywhere where this has become a contentious issue. So let's, as a nation is developing politically, let's move away from this sentiment. You're only looking for somebody that can give you those votes. Whether it's a Muslim, whether it's a Christian, the most important thing is to win the general election, to produce the government or to continue to have the government at the center. That is number one key thing. All other things can come as second or third, but the primary thing is to get someone that can give us that vote. And if you feel, the leadership feel is a Muslim, as the vice president that can go with Aswaju to deliver us at the 2023 elections, I have no problem with that. If they feel is a Christian, I have no problem with that. Why is it that PDP, after President Muhammad Buhari has done 8 years, still, who is a Muslim and a northerner, still just decide to go with a Muslim as their presidential candidate? Why didn't they think that since Buhari has done 8 years, the party should look for a Christian within the Christians and pick him as their flag bearer? So all these are coming from the opposition, like I said. But if we take a Muslim and we put the government at the center, Nigerians will continue to enjoy the manifesto that His Excellency Ashwaju Bola Tinubu will unveil to Nigerians.
Okay, I get your point, Tanko Yakasai. I said even before we joined us that the grammar of politics is about getting power, whatever works, realpolitik. So it's fine for you to say Muslim ticket. But are you aware that there are also some other young members of the APC who are saying that a Muslim ticket is unacceptable on the basis of equity, justice, balancing? And okay, if you say that doesn't matter, will you also say that Nigeria can also live with a Christian ticket? Maybe any of the other presidential candidates, maybe Peter Obi, although his party says he will pick from the north, I bet he could also pick a Christian from the north. Will you say that a Christian ticket will also not matter?
Personally, Mr. Abati, personally, I don't mind if it's a Christian. All I'm after is who can secure the future of this country? Who can make this country better? When we were young, this country was great. We want to see that glory comes back to Nigeria. Some people in APC will want to see a Christian. My younger brother, who is a friend also, Aliu Audu, I had the press statement yesterday. He is a Muslim, but they are canvassing for a Muslim, they are canvassing for a Christian vice president. But just like I keep telling you, the number one priority for APC now is to get a vice president that can give us that. With him, we can go into the general elections and win come 2023. Then also, I want to state here that Nigeria, you know, we have allowed ourselves to be polarized in this towards the religious and ethnic clients. We in the north, we have a lot of friends that are from the southern part that are Christians, and we're very, very close. During all this crisis in Kano, if there's a crisis, religious or ethnic, we hide the Christian friends of ours that are staying in the neighborhood in our father's house. These are the kind of politics we should be teaching the younger ones. We shouldn't allow the social media warriors to be dividing this nation along these lines. What is most important is getting a candidate with these qualities mentioned and the acceptability, and then you look on how you get power at the center. And Ashwaju Bola Tinubu has a lot of program for this country, and we must have a vice president that can complement him. So people will talk about Muslim, Christian, Muslim. Please, I urge all of us to forget about this and focus on the capacity of who is leading us. What are the programs? Let's be objective. Let's leave out sentiments so that Nigeria will be great again.
Right, so I'm going to read you a part of this really great article in today's This Day newspaper written by Ikekpo Braithwaite. And she asks, was it not under former President Olusegun Obasanjo, a Southern Christian, that Governor Ahmed Sani Yerima of Zamfara State declared Sharia, contrary to Section 10 of the Constitution, and was left to get away with it? Some other northern states followed suit. And she also asked, it's just a false sense of comfort and security that people derive from having a mixed presidential ticket, even if it's a name only, because the Christian Association of Nigeria, NIREC, His Eminence the Sultan of Sokoto, have done more to douse religious tension in this country and promote religious tolerance than any Christian or Muslim politician in government. I'd like your take on that, what she said. And also, I need to go back to the fact that of all the pressing issues facing this country, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, in that victory speech, talked about religious intolerance. Exactly how will he go about addressing religious intolerance and other factors causing disunity and strife in this country?
Okay, thank you so much. You see, if we take ourselves back to the time when they introduced this Sharia law in Zamfara State, that was a state affair. I can remember Obasanjo, President Olusegun Obasanjo, was vehemently against it because he called for a meeting and he wanted to stop the governors from the north from implementing Sharia. But they went ahead and implemented it. Zamfara started implementing, and then afterwards, Niger State implemented the Sharia law before even my state, Kano, you know. All this is within the state parameters. So the governors decided to do that, and has it caused any trouble in the states? No. The Christians are doing their businesses. The churches are still open in all the states that, implemented Sharia. And everybody were living in peace. So if the Muslims in those states feel they should have a Sharia law and they want to follow that, and then allow the Christians to go by the constitutional law and maybe say some of the ethical issues that made them to implement, the Sharia law, that is fine. Because there's no anywhere that because of that issue you raised that was in the editorial today caused problem. There was no revolt anywhere because a state has established Sharia law. So it's just like I'm trying to say, it's just that people are just scared of the emergence of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and they want to make sure that they pick a Christian from the north. It's not a bad idea. But can the Christian, a northern Christian, give us that vote, APC, to get power at the center? That is where the bone of contention is, So if we look, if it's a Muslim that will make us continue to have power at the center, that is the climax. And then you talked about the speech he had at the convention ground where he spoke about religious intolerance. That is what is dividing us now more. Every government must strive to make sure we take them down, these ethnic and religious inclinations. We pedal it down so that our interest should be who can lead this country, who can give us a better Nigeria for everyone to enjoy. Our part of the problem of all these things is lack of education. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu in his manifesto wants to give every Nigerian free education. That is his vision. And we pray it gets actualized. If he starts it, if he doesn't complete it, another government succeeds him and continue with it, it's better for the country. So let's leave the politics of religion and ethnicity and focus on what we can present so that at the end of it all, Nigeria will be great again.
So two things. Will it be that the APC does not see any northern Christian fit to be vice president to Asiwaju? Will that be the case? That no northern Christian... No, hang on a minute. I'm still asking my question. Let me finish. Will that be the case? And secondly...
Okay, sorry.
In the spirit of religious balancing, I'd like to dial to Kaduna. A lot of people say, what is happening? The tensions now, it's because you've got a Muslim ticket incumbent in the States. A lot of Christians feel shutouts. And that's why you've had a heightened level of the Southern Kaduna crisis and the likes. So what would you say as regards people that enunciate views like that? And one thing you shouldn't do in this conversation is to chip in the views of people. You know, in making your point and enunciate your point, make your argument, but don't chip in the views of people because those are views that people hold dear. And those are our viewers too, and they send in those views every time. Please, their views have to be respected.
Yeah, that's true. You see, I believe every zone in this country has competent and capable people that can assume the leadership of this country. In the north, both the Muslims and the Christians, we have competent people that can be the vice presidential running mates of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. So I believe 100%, to answer that question, I believe 100% we have capable Christians that can aspire.
So why can't they be...
I'm still standing on my words.
Why can't they make the peak?
I'm still standing on my words that I'm more... Because if we're to pick a Christian as a vice president, if it will not give us the vote, we won't go for it.
Why do you think a Christian won't give you the vote?
But if we can feel... You said?
Why do you think a Christian vice presidential candidate from the north won't give you the vote?
Because, I mean, if you pick a Christian, you know, the majority of the states in the north are predominantly Muslim states. I think we have only about 3 that are predominantly Christians. You know, probably Taraba, Benue, and Plateau State. So out of the 19 northern states, the majority are Muslims. And why are we shying away from the fact that our party needs those votes? We need to garner those votes to get this presidency come 2023, to continue at the center. That is the number one thing, Mr. Rufai, that we should be looking at. Who can get us that vote? Anytime a party is presenting a candidate, it tries to pick somebody that will garner the votes. I want you to understand this point from where I'm coming from. Somebody that can give us those votes and we get a landslide victory. Then the other question you talked about, the Kaduna. Believe you me, this issue of insecurity is not about Governor Nasir El-Rufai having his deputy, Her Excellency, being a Muslim. It's not. Most of these perpetrated acts, if I would tell you, like these kidnappings, like these killings, are happening, are being, are carried out by both Muslim and Christians. So, El-Rufai, when he picked Haja Hadiza as his running mate, as his deputy governor, nobody had any issue with that. It was just in the mouth. But at the end, people see that it can work, and it's working. You understand? So that has shown that, yes, even from the southern part of Kaduna, if you pick a Muslim, there won't be a problem. Because I can't remember seeing anywhere that there was riot because El-Rufai picked Haja Hadiza as his running mate.
Okay, well, Tanko, Yakasai will have to go. Otherwise, I would have loved to ask you to do for us a short list of those persons that you would think would be best suited as Asiwaju Bola Tinubu's running mate. If you were to name 2-3 persons, who would that be? In just half a second, if that is possible.
Well, you can look at, if it's from the Northeast, we have from the campaign team of Aswaju, you can look at Kashim Shettima. He's very good. I've seen what he can do, and I believe he's a material. You can look at Zulum. That is also somebody that, has done so much within the short time. You can look at Boss Mustafa, the SGF, is somebody of high pedigree. Nuhu Badu is there. Babachir is there. I mean, both Muslim and Christians, we have nothing to worry in terms of capacity, but just those that can garner votes for APC.
Okay, thank you very much. Tanko Yakasai for joining us on the morning show. We'll know where we all stand with all the 18 political parties by Friday, when the INEC deadline expires. Thank you for joining us.